Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Celebrate Southern Africa. My name is Dawn Denton, and I am so excited to have Ginny with me this evening. And I've said before how I love talking to people who live around the corner from me, but Al and Ginny are just around the corner where I like to buy all my stock, my South African stock. So welcome to Celebrate Southern Africa, Ginny.
Hello, Dawn. Thank you very much for having me on.
It's so great to talk to you. And the name Kalahari Kitchen. I mean, there is nothing more South African than that. But with your accent, I don't detect a South African accent.
You're absolutely right. Although I have picked up some of the lingo and phrases, I think. As you know, and many people will be able to tell, I'm totally British, English, born and bred. So everything I now know about Southern Africa is themed from my new friends, and after meeting Alan, of course, he's taught me everything I know.
Well, I don't give him that pleasure, but he's from Zimbabwe. Is that true?
Yeah, Alan was originally born in what was Rhodesia, now Zimbabwe, but spent a lot of time living in Durban and Cape Town as well. And Alan's son, Brendan, was born in Cape Town, so he's South African.
Okay, so his passion for Southern African food came from him being born and raised in that part of the world, and yours is because you fell in love with a man from that part of the world, and you married him, and you decided to set up a business making biltong and boerewors. What did you first think when you tasted biltong and boerewors?
Well, I like my food anyway, and I've always enjoyed eating meat. So for me, it didn't, looking back now, it doesn't seem such a long time ago that I tried it, like I've always liked it. I don't remember not liking it, and I very soon quickly acquired a taste for it, whereas some people, first of all, when they first taste it, I think, probably don't like it. But everything I was introduced to, I seem to like straight away.
And do you think it's because people know that biltong isn't cooked meat?
I think so, and I realised lately how much I've learned now over the years from working with Al and then selling the product, that now I know the process and how it's made from the beginning, and things Al explained to me about that I can explain to the people that it's perfectly safe to eat. It's not a raw product. Being a cured product, it is perfectly safe to eat. And I'd never thought of it as a raw product myself once it's made and sliced up and ready to go. However, my taste has evolved a little, really, because I used to like it much drier than I do now. And now I like it a bit like when you're eating a good steak. I now would eat a steak medium, whereas I've always had it well done. And I like my biltong a little bit softer now than when I started eating it.
Wow, so, that's interesting. So do you like the fatty bits on the biltong now?
I do like a little bit of fat, yes.
Oh, I love it. Oh, that's my favorite part. I absolutely love it. So now, what other parts of the lingo have you picked up? Because now you know boerewors, you know biltong, and you know droewors. But what other kinds of expressions have you picked up from Al that you can say publicly?
Well, it's taken a while for me to understand the lingo, so to speak. But often people would say just now, these sort of phrases. I now call drinks cool drinks instead of soft drinks, things like that. So it's little everyday sort of, perhaps you would call it slightly slang that I've picked up. And in the beginning, I didn't always understand very much what it meant, and everyone had a good laugh when they said now, and I said, well, what do you mean just now? So leading on from that, it's taken quite a while for me to adapt really to a different culture. And also lots of our customers, while we have lots of British customers, lots of them obviously are from Southern Africa. So I've had to get used to different sort of people who've had very different lifestyles to myself, and learn to embrace all of that and the people that they are. And really, I consider myself a bit of an adopted Southern African now.
Oh, well, we love you, and we love having you at the market every year, because you're like one of our founding members. And, I think one of the things that Al loves the most is actually to stand at the braai and cook the meat, and that social part of having a braai. That's, for me, what I think he likes the most. Am I correct when I say that?
He does very much so. He thoroughly enjoys the process of creating the products and making them to a very high standard, and so that they taste taste right and everything. But you're right, all the boys especially like to get round the braai and cook. And I've been impressed really with, especially at Celebrate, how much boerewors we can turn out in a day from our big braai. One year we calculated we'd sold pretty much 350 boerewors rolls plus. So
I hope that was to more than one person.
I know. So we were sorry to miss Celebrate this year, like everyone, but it's been a good place for us to promote our business, and we've always enjoyed the Celebrate market when we come along.
So you've done catering a lot in the past, but catering is really quite a difficult job. It's a big job. It's not just for the event, it's the preparation, it's the cleaning up afterwards, it's all the, that kind of stuff, making provision for in case things change or the weather changes and that kind of thing. So you are hoping now to scale a bit back on the catering, but just focus on your shop. Tell us about your shop and where it is, and if there are any people who might want to pop in.
Okay. Well, our shop is based quite near to where we live at the Trowbridge Garden Centre, which is on the Froome Road as you go into the back end of Trowbridge from Southwick. And we were fortunate enough to find a little unit there which was nice and rustic, and with a bit of work that Al did on it, it's really like, I like to think it might be like a little shop that you might find in Africa, because it's a wooden cabin. And as you know, we have our sign outside and the flags flying so people can find us. And we opened the shop. Originally, we had an online facility which was gaining momentum, but lots of people asked, where is your shop? So we decided it might be time to have a physical shop. We were lucky enough to find the premises, and that we opened the shop at the Garden Centre in March 2006. Sorry, not 2016. So this is our 4th year in the shop. And it's just picked up a pace and grown and grown and grown. And we've been very pleased with the progress. And going along the way, in the last couple of years, it's really gained momentum, and we're getting a lot more new customers all the time, and therefore they're referring us on. So subsequently, as you know, that's the best way is referrals for business. So we've got more and more new people coming all the time, which is great. And Al's developed his line of products. So now that we're obviously making all our own biltong, boerewors and droewors every week, and most weeks we sell out completely, so it's freshly made every week, and I think that's what people like.
Oh, absolutely. And so I know that you do stock my favorite flings, and I know that the flings don't last very long in the shop. That's the one thing that everybody wants, isn't it?
Yes, flings are the most popular kind of crisps, or chips as you call them. We also get a great demand for ghost pops, but they're not so easy to get hold of always at the moment. But the Simba crisps are very popular. And we also stock a small range of groceries such as Pro Nutro,
Rusks,
Durban curry sauce, Mrs. Ball's chutney, of course. And we're happy. I always explain to new customers when they come in, if there's something we don't have on the shelf, then we're happy to get that in for them if we can. So we like to provide a bit of a specialized bespoke customer service to individuals.
And I believe you also stock a couple of things. So Monica, who was chatting to us last week, she's got some of her jewelry and bits and pieces at the shop, so people can also buy some gifts there, which is quite nice.
Yes, and that's helpful because somebody might come in to see for our products and see monitors, or they might spot the jewelry and that might be what draws them in, and then they end up chatting and trying biltong. Whenever we have new customers in the shop, I always give them a taste of the biltong and the droewors, and often if they use quite often, then even buy it on the day, or if not, they come back quite shortly after that. So it's a good way to have another business, to link with other businesses, to try and help promote each other, and obviously bringing people into the shop.
So because you're in the garden centre and you've got the flag, do you sometimes have people wander over and go, oh, what's going on in here?
But we do indeed, yes. We always make sure we put the flags out, come rain or shine. And we also have a sign which we put up in the middle of the garden centre, because it can be quite busy out the back there, especially when they've got the Christmas trees up and things like that. So as people come through, they can see a big sign saying biltong this way. And in fact, only Saturday, I had a gentleman come in because he saw our sign. He just saw the word biltong on the sign. Brand new customer walked in, courtesy of the garden centre as well. So we do get some trade from the footfall.
And have you managed to convince British people who've never heard of biltong and boerewors that it's the thing they've got to buy regularly from you?
Yes, there's no doubt about that. We sometimes, I would say now, off the top of my head, I reckon a quarter of our customer base is probably British now, and some of them come in with Southern African partners. Some of them have been on holiday to South Africa and like the food and want to try it again. Or we have people now are quite aware of biltong as a product because they see it sometimes in other places like the supermarkets and things, and people are very discerning. And if they've tried that and they realize it's not actually always the genuine product that you will buy in the supermarket, then when they come looking for the real thing and they find it, they're very happy. And a lot of people are just pleased to have found that our shop is actually on their doorstep, because we were in an area where there was a need for another Southern African shop, so that lots of people didn't have to travel too far. But we also get people coming from as far afield as Swindon, Bath,
Wow.
Chippenham.
Well, that's a testament. That's a testament to both of you for running a business that people feel that they are comfortable enough, that they are going to get what they want, that they can order what they want. They feel like you are knowledgeable, and also Al making his stuff that's so good, because it's of the best biltong I've ever had. So, I think when you find a biltong that you like and a boerewors that you like, then you stick to that. So you'll drive miles if you want, if you want to be there. So
thank you, Dawn, for saying that about the biltong, because we do find that a lot of our customers are just really have been very complimentary about the products, and that's what keeps bringing them back. And one thing I think that enhances the product really is that they know they're getting consistency, and if they come back, it's going to be, Al is very particular about the spicing and using good quality meat and that kind of thing, so people know when they come back they're going to get the same quality product every time. It's not going to change, so we're quite particular about how we source our meat. And
so now tell me, when Al makes his stuff in his little kitchen, does he have the radio on? Does he yell and swear at himself? Does he sing? What is his process? Or is that secret?
We like listening to Radio 2, so we've usually got Radio 2 on in the adjoining kitchen, which he can listen into. But I think a lot of the time he's probably concentrating quite hard, but also thinking about the product and the sales, and obviously when the spicing is important, so he's concentrating on that and amounts and that sort of thing and calculations. But yes, he does like to have the radio on. I think he probably does swear on occasion. And I'm usually in the kitchen washing up, so I can usually hear what's going on out there. But very focused when he's doing something, so he gets on with it, gets his head down and gets on with it. But
and do you guys do you still eat a lot of boerewors and biltong, or do you just kind of, because I find when people like work at McDonald's, they don't necessarily eat McDonald's burgers anymore, or they work at a pizza place. Is it the same for you, or do you still enjoy it every now and again?
No, I still enjoy it a lot. I tend not to eat biltong in the shop because I'm aware of the fact that that product's there for sale, and it's a valuable product, and it's quite it's a specialist product, so I don't want to be eating all of that. But we do have, for example, when we prepare an order, we have the nice little bits that we cut off the end of stockies, for example, in a bowl at home. We usually keep a bit back for the chef, as he calls it, so if he spots a particularly nice piece, he'll keep it back in the cabinet at home for eating himself. And I would say we easily eat boerewors about once a week, just as one of our regular meals, because I love boerewors.
Oh, well, that's good to know. That means it's always nice to know that the chef actually enjoys his own food, which is also a good thing. It's kind of a good testament to his product.
Yes.
So tell us the flavors of the biltong that you've got. So and boerewors. So you've got I think you've got the chili one, don't you?
That's right, yes. We regularly, every week, we usually make chili, extra pepper, and traditional or original, as some people call it, biltong. Every week we have traditional boerewors because we sell a lot of that. And from time to time, we'll either have a cheese boerewors in there, chili boerewors, and one of the very popular ones out there, you might remember in the summer, was chili cheese together. But he can also make other flavors to order. We occasionally get requests for breakfast boerewors or
What's breakfast boerewors?
well, we've had requests. Somebody called it breakfast boerewors, a much thinner sausage, still in the Rio, but we've had one customer request that in particular, so Al's made that specially for him. But myself, I prefer the big grills of the original.
Yeah, I mean that's like slimming it down. I don't like slim down boerewors. I want the real thing.
And we're making chili, traditional, and Worcester sauce flavor at the moment, and the Worcester sauce is delicious. Lots of people like the chili, and again we sell a lot of the traditional, but the Worcester sauce is popular as well, and the chili.
Wow, that sounds amazing. So what is Al's plan with his range? Is he kind of experimenting with some new stuff? Can you give us a bit of an exclusive?
He's always having ideas for things going forward. As you know from the catering, he makes a mean peri-peri chicken and Cape Malay curry and all those sort of things that we've done in the eventing. So going forward next year, he was thinking of possibly looking into preparing some ready meals that people could buy chilled and take away from the shop. For example, a peri-peri chicken ready to cook, or of course, we've thought maybe of doing more braai packs, maybe with the different meats together in the braai pack. So he's always looking at ways to promote the business, take it further forward, something else that might attract people or something else that they want. And we're open to ideas from people. You know, if people specifically asked if there's something we could do, we would try and look into that, or certainly let them know if it was something we could do.
And so in the summer when the weather's nice and we're not in lockdown and stuff, you like to have your braais where people come and there's boerewors rolls and stuff. Tell us a bit about why you had those and how that kind of came about.
Well, we wanted to, lots of people come in the shop that are perhaps new to coming to this country and staying over and looking to meet other like-minded people like themselves, and they may be settling in. And I always say it's a nice way to make friends and meet people from their own part of the world. So I like to think of the shop as maybe a little sort of hub where people could meet other people. We quite often have customers meet at the shop. When we weren't in lockdown, we sometimes have groups of people chatting in the shop. And it's a way of bringing people together, which I know is something you like to do. So these little events are nice and informal. We usually have a raffle. We have the braai going, as you know, outside, and the shop open, and we usually do very good business on those days as well. So it's just a nice informal way of bringing people together. And of course, it promotes the boerewors in the cooked, so that people can taste like what it's cooked if they haven't had it before. And it all helps promote the business and make a bit more money on that day as well.
And I believe there's something that you learned how to make that you make very well, and that's koeksusters.
That's right, yes.
I mean, I've heard that they're the messiest, most difficult thing to make. Is that right?
They are quite time consuming, and it was Al who taught me to make them. We're talking now probably 10 years or so ago when we first started the business, and I didn't find it easy at all to start with. But I think it's something that's been perfected over time with experience, and now I'm happy with the result. And what's always an accolade is when Southern Africans say they taste good, because they're very discerning people, as you know, and they only like things if they're
discerning. Correct. You're very kind. We're just fussy.
Fussy, yes, okay. But discerning's a good word, a good diplomatic word to use. But if I get same with the meat products as well. But if we get people coming and saying back and saying that's really good, then that's encouraging to know you're doing it the right way, because obviously it was something I've never done before.
Well, I've never made them, and I think they're great. And they're a couple. Sometimes I've been in the shop and you've had milk tarts and things. Do you get someone else to make those, or have you been brave enough to make those as well?
We have had in the past someone making milk tarts for us, but then going forward, I tried myself. So the recent ones I've done in the shop are my own, and I would make those to order. But I think the main thing that is popular and people know now that we can do well at the Koeksusters really. I have experimented recently with stem ginger cookies and also oatmeal and raisin cookies, or biscuits, I think you call them, rather than cookies. So that's something I hope to do more in the shop next year as well.
Oh, fantastic. Well, that sounds brilliant. I'm looking forward to being normal times and where we can actually be outside your shop and braaiing and enjoying the produce and stuff that you've got in there. So tell us now where we can find you and how we can access all your products. What's the best way to find you and get in touch?
Well, on our Facebook page at Kalahari Kitchen, it's got my phone number there, and all our business. If anyone's picked up a business card, the shop mobile number is my number. And I found that people do order online, kalaharikitchen.co.uk, and you can do that. And we have a little order surface where you click and order your products, and I can access that and then advise you when you can collect from the shop. But more and more we find as people are coming into the shop, they tend to just text me or drop me an email to place an order, because in a way it's a bit more direct. They just, or they even order when they come in the shop. So you can order from the shop by text or email. I check the Facebook page every day. I get occasional orders coming through via the Facebook page. So there's all sorts of options there for ordering. But the main thing is just get in touch with me and I will advise. And on the website, we do need about a week's notice, ideally, for biltong and boerewors orders, because obviously we need to process the raw meat process to make sure we've got enough in for everyone's orders. So as much notice as possible is appreciated, especially in the busy time leading up to Christmas.
Absolutely. And so what do you love the most about Southern Africa, besides the people and the boerewors and the biltong and all the other stuff?
From what I've seen of it, the scenery and the sunshine goes a long way. I'm fortunate enough to have been to Zimbabwe many years ago. Before I actually met Alan, I had friends posted there through the British Army. So I went to Harare and stayed with them. And I went for 2 weeks and stayed for 3 months. So that's when I first fell in love with Africa.
Wow.
And
very lucky to have been there for that long.
Yes, I was. And when I first met Alan, I was very spoiled because he took me to Cape Town on holiday. So that was a very exciting experience. So it helps really that I have been to Africa as well and know a little bit about what it's like.
Yeah.
So the culture is very interesting. Obviously the food, as you say, the people, and some of the amazing scenery, the wine, of course.
Well, you know, we have a couple of good wines in South Africa.
We
have a couple down the road from us too, if anybody wants any of them. I'm sure Gerard from Perold Wine Cellars would love to hear from you.
I'm sure he would. And we liaise with Gerard quite a lot and try and promote each other's businesses. And another thing I should perhaps mention, leading up to Christmas, the week before we close at Christmas, I usually apply for a temporary alcohol license, which means we can get in some alcohol from Gerard maybe. We can also get in maybe some castle lagers and things like that. So I'm fully licensed to sell alcohol in the last week leading up to when we shut.
Oh, well, that's brilliant to know. Absolutely brilliant.
If you have any special requests, you know, we can again let us know. We'll see if we can get it in for you.
Fantastic. Well, Ginny, is there anything else you wanted to mention before we end it off?
No, I just really wanted to thank you for doing this for us and having us on and giving us the chance to promote our business. We're always happy to welcome new customers in the shop, chat and advise about the products, and hopefully give what we consider to be a good bespoke customer service and look after people. So just hope that this meeting will promote the business a little further afield, perhaps.
Absolutely. I'm sure there's lots of people who didn't even know that you were just across the border here. You don't need a passport to get to Wiltshire from Somerset.
Yeah. And the main thing, sorry,
go ahead.
The main thing to mention is, fortunately, we've been able to operate throughout the whole of lockdown from home in the summer, and the second lockdown we've been able to open all the way through. So we want people to know that we're open and available, and they can come into the shop So we've been fortunate, and with the support of our existing customers and new ones coming in, has enabled us to keep going, whereas some other small businesses haven't been.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's been lovely to know, and just a taste of home, especially at Christmas time, when it's a family, it's a time of memory, it's a time of, you know, longing to be with people. And if we can bring something into the home that reminds people of, you know, of Christmases that they enjoyed with their family and friends in South Africa and Zimbabwe and Botswana and Namibia, and, you know, it just adds an extra little special experience for everybody. So thank you so much for everything you do for the community as well, and for bringing people together at your braais, and also just for making sure that you have flings when I come and visit.
Well, let me know when you're coming, but I'll make sure I've always got flings in this video. Thank you so much, Dawn.
No, thank you, and have a lovely Christmas, and yeah, please send Al our love and tell him he's a wuss that he didn't come onto the
He is actually literally finishing spicing this week's biltong as we speak. So
okay, he's got a good enough excuse. That's a good enough excuse. Lovely to chat, Ginny.
And you, Dawn. Thank you very much for setting everything up, and nice to talk to you. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Same to you.
Bye-bye.